Okay, so the one and only Omar Shahid Hamid, thank you so much for agreeing to be on the other side with Fariha and Talat.
My pleasure.
Yes, so thank you so much. I think for a start, we'd love to know a little bit about your journey. You know, it's so unique, your profile. You know, you were in the police, you did your CSS examination, passed that, joined the police force, I guess took a sabbatical at some stage, and then started to write. And most of your books are clearly around your experiences as a cop in Karachi, and a bit about cricket as well. So tell us about your journey. How did that happen, and how did you become an author from a policeman?
Yeah, thanks, Talat. I think I became a police officer at a very young age, and I kind of stumbled into writing, much later. Writing was, not something that I had done previously, or something that I had particularly aspired to either. But one of the things that I did find when I joined the police was that the police, it's a strange sort of organization, in the sense that it sort of sees, or the people in it see society at its worst and its best. And you really see a cross section of society. I think, if you really want to judge where any society is at, having a look and talking to the police officers within that society is usually a very good idea, because they're a good barometer for what's going on at a particular time in a particular age. And there were all these fantastic stories that a lot of us police officers used to share amongst ourselves. You said that a lot of my stories are based on my experiences, not necessarily my experiences, but they're based on experiences of various police officers. Mm-hmm. And obviously I've fictionalized them, and I've drawn new stories out of that. But what always struck me was that there was this tremendous pool of amazing stories within the police, and there was just no way to get them out, because it was highly unlikely that police officers wrote books or articulated the stories in any other way. And as the police is anywhere in the world, it's a very closed sort of shop. So it's very difficult for an outsider, even a journalist or someone, a professional sort of writer, to get into that. And so when at a particular point in my career, I was somewhat frustrated by my professional issues, I turned to writing almost as an act of catharsis. And it just snowballed from there, and it became originally it became my book, The Prisoner, and then it just went on and on.
Okay, and just quickly before we move to our second question, interesting, because you did your CSS exams, and from what I know, people who do their CSS, maybe police is not their first choice. They want to pay customs, or they want to get into foreign service or whatever. So why the police force? What was the driving force for you for that?
The police is, again, as I said, because of the peculiar circumstances of our country, where unfortunately organization, or I should say not organizations, but I should say institutions or institution building is very difficult. And so individuals start to matter more. And my parents were civil servants, but they were not police officers. Mm-hmm. And I came across this, what I call this unique ability that the police in this country has, of being able to act as a tremendous force for good or for bad. It all comes down to a very individualized thing. That's not a good thing, as I said, institutionally, but it does mean that if you want to make a difference, your ability or to do that is far more than, let's say, if you were a police officer in New York or London or Tokyo.
Yes.
So the graph oscillates a lot. And because I saw this, my father was assassinated when I was still in university. I sort of went through the ups and downs of the police attitude, in the sense that there was a time when the police was totally non-responsive because the case had political connotations, and there was another time when the same police, solved the case and apprehended the suspects when the political chains were taken off them. And so the impression that left to me was that it was a job where you can make a lot of difference. It matters. What you do matters a lot. And that's what, as I said, it's not always the most comfortable of careers, because it's something that your career does tend to oscillate a lot. But yes, your ability to do good or your ability to impact change is tremendous.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Omar, for sharing that. Fariha, over to you.
Thank you, Talat. So, Omar, what I would be keen to understand what keeps you going, because you just mentioned you lost your dad, and it was a very tragic incident when you were only 19. Then, throughout your sort of police career, you were on Pakistani Taliban's hit list, and you escaped, I think, some injuries, and so mental resilience का थोड़ा सा बताएं कि what keeps you going?
Fariha, this job makes you, again, I think it's, I'll come back to this, that it's a job that tends to make you tough, because it is a job where the ups and downs are tremendous. And if you want to stay in it for any period of time, you need to have those, mental resilience gears. Writing also helps. As I said initially, that I when I began writing, it was an act of catharsis, and it just grew from there to the point where I think it's an act of addiction now, in the sense that to sort of balance myself out, I feel that I do need to write. If I haven't written in a while, let's say I haven't written in a week or a month or so, I start feeling very uneasy about things. So I think it's a sort of, it fine tunes me and keeps me grounded. So these two things, the nature of the job itself and writing, I think both of these things have had a tremendous impact on whatever mental resilience that I may possess.
So, sorry, just a follow-up question. Why did it not occur to quit? Because you see, we tend to think to quit.
I think I kind of have this conversation with myself almost every week, where I want to quit, and then I talk myself out of it. So my wife is someone who has to suffer this conversation, as I said, on a daily basis. It happens a lot.
And then why don't you quit then?
As I said, there are times when you get very, very frustrated, and you feel that it might be better to walk away. For that matter, in a sense, I did walk away. I had to take a sabbatical for 5 years, and I went on to do something completely different, which is, sort of a political risk consultancy. But I think even that period away from the job, I think taught me a lot of things. It taught me that, you can't take yourself too seriously. If you do, it's a slippery slope. You shouldn't take yourself that seriously. If you want to kind of have, it also gives you, if you're able to walk away for a while and come back, you kind of remember the things that you loved about the job, that bring you back to it. And also at the back of your mind, you have this thing that, look, I've been able in my life to walk away and do something totally different. And if the need arises, you can do that again. I think one of the big factors that makes a lot of people miserable, not just in necessarily police careers or civil service careers, but in any career, is this thing where you're kind of tied down and you feel, look, this is all I know, this is all I can do. And it just, makes you miserable. So in a way, the act of going away for a while, doing something different, reinforces your love for your original profession. And you have that self-confidence that, well, yeah, if things get really bad, you can walk away.